suggestions, if you're giving it with an attitude or being disrespectful while giving these, $1 million suggestions, people don't accept that very well. And you just told me, everybody just said it all at the same time, being disrespectful. If I came at you hollering and fussing and cussing, but still saying the words of, you need to whatever, and do this, and you need to do that, and you do that, but it was a surefire way to get $1 million in 2 minutes. But I was like, you need to do this, and and if you don't do it, then you wouldn't even hear the message of the $2 million.
I'd probably be looking anyway.
You wouldn't hear that message, would you?
No.
But is it not good information?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
When my mom yells at me to clean the house and everything, I yell back at her, but then I go do it, and then when I'm doing it, I'm just hesitating and yelling. And so when you said, oh yeah, you took me $2 million, I will listen to it, and then while I'm doing it, I'll be hesitating, yelling at myself, why am I even doing this?
Even though it's getting $2 million.
I don't know, I still do it. And
So do you see why it's important to, if you have something to say, if you say it in a way that's disrespectful or rude, even if sometimes I hear kids give them. I'm like, that was actually a very good idea or a very good thought. But you said it was such a bad attitude that most people missed it. Or they just kind of came back at it without actually thinking about what you said. And it was the best suggestion in the world. Okay? So when you're communicating also, you have to remember if you have something to say and if you want somebody to listen, you got to remember the tone in which you're giving it. Okay? Another question. If you had a really good job and you made good money and it was doing what you wanted to do, and your boss, the main person, was disrespectful to you, what would you do?
I would probably talk to them, but not be rude about it or anything, but I know you're my boss, but
They were really disrespectful.
yeah, go up to them in their office or whatever, and be like, can you not talk to me like that?
Okay.
Or because I'm a person too, so
Okay.
I don't know, just not go off on them because they are your boss, but just be respectful.
What about you, Sunlight? What would you do?
Walk out the door.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which is, I wanted you to say that. I wanted you to say that. You'd leave. Would you be like, I'm out of here, I quit, I'm done?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What would you do?
I would just be quiet and okay.
And then it happened on Tuesday,
And Tuesday,
and then it happened on Wednesday,
I'll just
and then it happened on Thursday.
I'll just I'll
Okay.
be like, I'm done with working with you, you're too disrespectful.
Okay.
Just leave.
Okay. What about you?
Well, if it was a good paying job,
Right.
I'd probably reconsider just quitting.
Okay.
I'd definitely have a one-on-one conversation with them.
Okay. And what would you say in that one-on-one conversation?
Well, first of all, they're the boss. They should know how to work with people and be an authority without being mean.
Okay.
I would ask for more respect, obviously, and for it to not happen again. 'Cause how would you like me to treat you like that?
Okay.
It's a sort of a two-way thing.
Okay, like a mutual respect. Okay. What about you?
Okay, well, I have a job, so I know what it feels like to have a boss now.
Okay.
And sometimes my bosses can, they're stressed out, so when they tell us things, it'll come off as disrespect, but really they're just trying to get a point to us and go do what they need to do.
Okay.
So me, I'm used to it. If it's something really disrespectful, I would probably have to talk to them when they're not stressed out, obviously, and try to go one-on-one appointment time and go in and just have a meeting with them. And back to what we were saying about having them take their turns, we both have to say why they would disrespect me and why it affects me or why I need to talk to them about something. Then go through it.
Yeah. I like what you said and said, I want to know why. And you know what? Sometimes just going in and talking to somebody about how they made you feel, sometimes people are in the moment, and it doesn't give them the right to do it, but sometimes people are in the moment or they're having their own bad day, and when you bring it to their attention, but you did it because you just left, you quit your good job, when you bring it to your attention, so what happens when you leave, you left your real good paying job and couldn't find another one for another 6 months, and then, but Morgan came and said, hey, I feel like you were being disrespectful, it made me feel like I want to know why you spoke to me like that. And I said, oh my gosh, I actually just, lost my mom, and I'm overwhelmed, and I'm so sorry, and I'm putting together all our funeral services, and and I know I shouldn't have came at you like that, and I'm just so sorry, I'm just so overwhelmed. Please forgive me, and I apologize, and I will never speak to you like that again.
It's
Hold
weird.
on, hold on. You never gave them a chance, did you? No. And you lost, but did you get your needs met? You got part of your needs met of like somebody not talking to you like that, but what's the other part that you don't have now met? Your job, your financial stability, right? So you left, and I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people do that. A lot of people, especially when it's somebody in an authority figure, they tend to be like, I'm not taking this. I can't take it. But sometimes you're gonna lose something by walking out. Right? You're like she said, if it's a good paying job, I think I might have to say something. Right? But and it's hard. And not that you're always gonna get that response, but you'll never know if you don't ever talk about it, if you don't ever communicate. So in saying that, I wanna talk about, anybody knows what I statements are? I statements, have you ever heard of that? Okay, what you believe.
It's
Like your opinion.
Yeah, it's like stating your own feelings or thoughts
Yep.
instead of what other people want to say.
Yep. So when you were talking about it, you were kind of saying that, but that's a really good way for you not to put the blame. Why did you did this, you did that. You bring it back to yourself and say, I felt like I was being disrespected. I didn't like that. I want to know what made you do that. I would like to know, so like you put it back on yourself, because when you go to people and say you and why and you, it makes people start to shut down. So if you they can have all this stuff to say. When you say they can't take your feelings away. That's how you felt. So you can't say you because they say, well, I didn't do this, you did . They can't say, well, you didn't feel like that. Can they say, like, and people say, you didn't feel like, you don't know how I felt, but I told you, I felt disrespected instead of you disrespected me. Right? Because if you say you disrespected me, can I have a come back and say, no, I didn't? But if I say, I felt disrespected, what is your response?
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
You're probably like, how, and that's when the conversation.
Yes. Did you hear that? Mm-hmm. Then they said, well, how did you feel disrespected?
And that's how compromises happen.
Absolutely. Because there's a thing called I statements, and when you are in a situation and you need to let somebody, if they were disrespectful to you, or they lost your paper, or whatever they're doing, you can say, I feel this way. I need this. I want this. I feel. Okay? Because nobody can take your own feelings away. So remember that when you're communicating with people, don't point the finger. Don't say you did this, you did that. If you can take that, you did, because the same thing as saying you disrespected me and I felt disrespected, you're saying the same thing. But you're giving somebody an out to say, no, I didn't do that. But somebody said, well, how did you feel disrespected? Well, what did I do to disrespect you? Okay, now we can talk about what you did. But I got you to listen to what I felt without putting a blame on you first, okay? All right, so, and we'll start to kind of wrap this up. Anything else come to mind? Actually, let's look at a couple on the second one, really quick. Let's go through 11. Who said, we'll figure out who, raise their hand, a couple for like the same ones. Number 11, anybody start with number 11? 12? Oh, 3 hands just went up.
I did 11 and 12.
Oh, you did 11 and 12, okay. So number 12, since 3 people says, I ask for more information about why a particular demand is being made to explore for underlying interest and why a position is important. So is that hard for you, or did you understand that question? And what does that question mean to you in very layman's terms?
I don't think that the question means like not asking questions as to why a superior student thinks that they're doing.
Why I say that?
Why a person that's like more power than you, why they're doing something that you're not asking, you're not interested, you don't care. But
Okay.
it might affect you.
Okay. So you saying you do that or you don't do that?
I don't.
Okay, you don't ask questions. What, you circle that one. Why is that one on your list?
Well, I don't do it, but like, I don't know, it's just like, if a question has to be asked, then you ask it, even if they're like higher than you.
Okay, so you don't do it, but you know that that's
Yeah.
probably the best. Yeah, sometimes we know something, you're like, it's probably the best way, but I don't do it. But if it's the best way, it's the best way for a reason. Why did you pick that one?
Well, I hardly do it, but it's hard for me to ask questions. Like, I feel like a shy person. I'm like a really shy person. And so I hardly ask questions and I'm just really quiet.
Okay. So when somebody tells you to do something that maybe that you don't want to do or you don't think you should do you just do it?
Just do it.
Yeah. Do you just do it? Yeah. Even if you're bothered by it? What about you? Do you just do it? Yeah. What about you? When somebody, are you actively listening? We're wrapping up here. We're wrapping up. When somebody asks you to do something, you don't quite understand why you're doing it or what it's for, but they're an authority figure, do you ask questions why, or you just kind of do it?
Depending on the situation, if
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable doing it,
Okay?
I usually won't, and I'll ask like why.
Okay?
But if it's something like a smaller thing, I'll just do it.
Okay.
It depends on the person.
It
Like if
depends
it's
on
my
the person.
mom,
No,
don't
yeah.
ask why.
Right,
Just don't
right.
ask- Don't ask why. If it's
Right.
like a teacher, yeah, I'll ask why, because they can't do anything.
Yeah. But I'm saying if you feel uncomfortable with something,
Then yeah.
but beyond, do you just kind of do it?
Yeah.
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 I'd probably tell them I feel uncomfortable doing it.
And not uncomfortable, like illegal uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But just like I was gonna give an example of volleyball, but you don't kind of question coaches either. But if somebody, that one's a good one, because if somebody's asking something of you and you were kind of unclear, unsure why you're doing that, if you're unclear, unsure, and not that it makes you uncomfortable, but you're just kind of unsure why, it's okay to say, it's okay to say, I will definitely get this done, but I'm not quite sure why I'm doing it. Because sometimes when you understand the why, it helps you to do a better job of what they're asking you to do. Okay? So if you're uncomfortable or unclear or unsure, it's okay to say, why am I doing that again? And not saying that you're not going to do it, but you kind of want to know why. All right? 13. Anybody start with 13? 13. 14. 13 and 14. No, what is 13 and 14? 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. 18. Yadira, you want to start with that one? You want to read that one?
I look past a person's opinion of what solution is necessary to solve the problem to get their needs and underlining interests.
To get to their needs,
Yeah.
to get to their needs. So, what does that mean? What does that mean? It's a whole bunch of words. What does
I
that
think
mean?
it means like, when people give their ideas of a solution, you don't even think of theirs, you just try to make your own to solve their own problem, but they just gave you a solution to do it.
Okay. And do you like you three? Because you picked that one as kind of hard. Is it hard to do? Is it hard to like? So it says I look past a person's opinion of what solution is necessary. So you tend to look past what they say. Why is that? Why is that?
A lot of us, well, for me, I hate to be wrong. So
Mhm.
whatever's in my mind first, that's what we're doing. And
Yes.
they'll be like, well, I just want to, I'm like, no, this is what we're doing. And I guess I can not go well with some people.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my issue. I don't like to be wrong about things, so I make my own ideas.
Remember when we talked about at the beginning, when you're having a communication or a breakdown or lack of agreement, is one person right, one person wrong?
No.
Every once in a while, it's like every once in a while. But it's not about right and wrong, right? That person is not your opponent. They have a different perspective. They have a different opinion. And people have different perspectives and different opinions for a multitude of reasons. It could be their background, it could be their whatever, how they were raised, their culture, right? So you would tell somebody, if they had a decision that was culturally based, right? They made a decision based on their culture. You seem like a pretty respectable person who respects other people, and you had an opinion, but they're wrong and you're right, because you don't want to be wrong. Yeah.
It goes to a certain point.
But I'm saying, like, let's say you didn't even know that their decision was
Yeah.
based on their culture or their religion. right? And the only reason why I'm pointing this out is that you guys have to understand when people make decisions or they're saying things or they have an opinion about something and you don't agree, everybody has their reasons for why that's their opinion or why that's their solution. Everybody has it, and everybody's is not the same. So we have to take a step back and realize that yes, there's a need that needs to be met, but how do I get my needs met without disregarding yours? For whatever reason you have yours, and that's big shoes to fill, right? That's hard and difficult. But the more you work at it and the more you practice it, the more effective communicator you will become. If that's not a great tie and not to the end, I don't know what it is. Okay, so.
Do you have Julissa Talamantes? Brothers here,
Okay.
Can you say that again?
Hold on real quick. How do we move forward? What is something, give me one thing that you kind of you'll take away from this. Give me one thing you'll take away from this.
Think about like other people's side of the story and not just get mad about it just because it's in the moment.
Okay? One thing you'll take away from this.
Talking to people
Okay.
instead of getting mad.
Okay?
Communicate more.
How? By talking?
My talking. Like, don't be shy.
And why not?
Because if you're a really shy person, you really don't get like the conversation. You really won't get into stuff. And you're just an outside person. It's good to get into stuff.
Okay? Because getting into stuff doesn't mean bad.
Yeah.
One thing that you think that you can take away from this.
Looking at situations from someone else's point of view to see, like, try to even it out, I guess, and come up with a conclusion that's more productive with whatever's going on.
Okay?
Mine is similar to you, Darius and Caitlin's about instead of just having my side, opening up my mind to other people's ideas in the situation.
Is the thing that you pointed out right now, did you have that in mind before you came here? Did you ever think about that before you came here?
Thought about it, never did it.
Never
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Never did. Do you see the importance of why it should be done? Okay. All right. Well, that concludes our session, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure that you eat cookies and pizza and all that good stuff. Okay. Thank you.
Good stuff.